Alright, we're going to talk about this. First, look at these. Let's just give praise to these little guys doing their work. Look at these bees. I planted this blueberry, both these blueberries actually, less than 6 months ago. At the end of fall, and they're doing great. That's actually from Home Depot. And this one was from Star Nursery, one of those Biloxi, whatever they are, little $10 blueberries. They're doing great. But yeah, so I like to just randomly do stuff, and it's taking off. We're going to talk about growing from seed, mangoes, and avocados. Look at all these bees doing God's work. Something to look at while we're talking about this. So, avocados and mangoes. If you didn't know, trees have a sexual maturity. They have to live for a certain amount of years before they will fruit. So if you're planting something from seed, it's going to take a while. That's why we do things like graft and air layering and whatnot. Peaches are coming in. So what I did is I go to Sam's Club or whatnot, and I'll buy something and I'll just plant it. I have a little compost bin and I'll just throw it in just to see what happens. Since I have drip irrigation set up, it's the worst case scenario. I get some organic matter and I learn something from it. Best case scenario, it'll start fruiting in a couple years. It also teaches me what's going on with the soil, if it can survive here, if it can't. Because these just say avocado, they're unknown. I want to say this might be a Haas, probably, if I had to assume. All I'm trying to do right now is just take a look at the roots. Avocados can be super picky about their roots being messed with. This costed me nothing to do this. It would have been in the compost otherwise. If it dies, it's just going to go in the compost, but I don't want to mess up the roots too badly. So I am trying to be somewhat careful. And this is the other side of the seed. The seed breaks and the plant grows from it, so it's kind of interesting. I'm just trying to get this out of here. I can't have it growing in this area. I mean, I can do what I want. I'm an adult, but this isn't the area for it. There really wasn't a whole lot of roots, but this is what we're looking like right now. And if you grow something from seed, it's going to be stronger for your area versus growing something else that's grafted or whatnot. Things take time to acclimate. This is already acclimated. I'm going to fill this back in and let this blueberry take over this area. Let's move. So this area I've been kind of transforming for a while now. I've had all sorts of organic matter in this area. It has drip irrigation on it anyway, so it's been watering. So I'm going to see if this will work. Just digging a hole, and then I'm just going to put the tree in this hole. And I kid you not, all I did was took that avocado seed, put it in that raised bed in like fall or something. When actually after I planted those blueberries, I did a video on it, and it just randomly grows. Like this stuff can work here. I mean, that's not our soil, but that's soil I made. Partially from a place called VeraGrow. If you're planting in bulk, I would definitely say to reach out to them to get soil delivered to your doorstep. And I am going to add a little bit of organic fertilizer, not directly onto the trunk, but just in the general area, even though this area is pretty fertilized. And then another thing that I generally do is add water from my pond. So this is nitrogen rich. It's kind of like adding your fish fertilizer. A lot of people use that black stinky stuff. This is equivalent to that. It's natural. If you have a pond water is so beneficial for your garden. I can't stress it enough. Fish fertilizer, though, Alaska fish fertilizer is super important as well. It works really well. I use that on a lot of things. I'm not trying to oversaturate this area, just enough to get it wet. And if there is any root shock, generally this will help that. Indoor compost bin. Got some mangoes from the store, and I already shucked this one. Look at this is what a mango looks like outside of its shell. That's the shell. Did that inside where it's nice and cool. The mango, none of this goes to waste. I use everything, let it break down or put it in the compost. Got some of those passion fruits. Got another avocado seed. Alright, so pretty much what we have to do to get this out, there's a tiny lip. You know, sometimes you can just break them apart if you get your finger in there. Sometimes you gotta pry it apart. With your knife, you find that opening. You don't want to hit the seed, but if you put it in there and you kind of put the knife the other way, you kind of cut and go around it. Voila. See if I can pry this open. And there you have your seed. You can plant this directly in soil. I'm going to do a couple different things with these, see which one works. And the rest of this is going to the garden. I think I'm going to try to plant one in seed by itself like it would be in the wild and see how that goes as well. But as you can see, that's already looks like it's starting to grow out. So it's super healthy. That's what you want to look for. Let's get these planted. Alright, we're in the same general area, as you can see. And I'm just going to put these in this soil for the most part. Like I said, this area gets watered. I'm going to put it sideways, and it should branch on that green side out. Some people put them on the bottom with it facing up. I'm not trying to bury it too deeply. Just get that covered. I also have this avocado seed. Just the same as I did over there, I'm going to do this over here and just plant it over here and see what grows out first. First come, first serve. At worst case scenario, if this does grow out, I can use these as rootstock and graft from my mature trees to them. I'm personally just curious to see how they do in this climate in general. Generally, it's not the heat that's the issue here. It's the rays of the sun. This is a kind of a shaded area. In the wild, things grow and then they get out into the sun. They don't start in the sun, they start in the shade. There's so much covering. And with this, sometimes you want to remove this covering of these a little bit. But I'm going to put this one in a pot. And we'll grow it that way as well. So I can put this wherever I want. This will likely be a graft though, if it does work. Which I've had them work before, so it shouldn't be an issue. And I'm just using the soil that I make. In this case, what I use is the coconut core instead of the peat moss. If you didn't watch any of those other videos, take a look. And again, I'm just placing it sideways. Got a cutting that's growing. I'm just going to give this a little more to cover it up. Make sure it's in there. Make sure it can hold moisture. Once I see it start to grow, I'll probably put mulch on top of it. And then I'm putting it on this pot so that it can kind of hold some of that water. And what that also does is kind of makes things a little bit humid for the most part as that evaporates. But I can also see I don't want water just running off the table for no apparent reason. Might as well use what it is. I don't like to waste anything. I don't know if you can tell. You know what? Sometimes I use vermiculite. I am going to put mulch over the top of it. Per use, I'm using the pond water. I always use this as a starter. You can use fish fertilizer based on the directions and do it that way. And all I'm doing is just watering till I see water come out the bottom. Cover it with a little bit of mulch, just a little. There you go. You can see that the water comes out the bottom. I'm not wasting too much, but this will absorb it. I can even water it from the bottom and let it just absorb in. But this is kind of my growing area. A area that gets some shade. It's blocked from those rays. Alright, I have one more to do. And this is the one in the shell still. I'm just going to see what happens. Again, this is all just experiments. I'm not expecting great results, but this is what would happen in the wild. It would just fall, animals would walk over it, leaves would fall, get buried in the mulch, and then it would grow. And I also have another avocado seed. Might as well plant that over here as well. Let's see what happens. I'll give these about 6 months or so to grow out, see if they respond. If they don't, there's no hair off my back. If it does, then this will be a nice little avocado area. And then in like 15 years, 8 years or so, or less, maybe I'll have some Vegas avocados that I can then start selling. You gotta kind of succession these things. That's pretty much all for this one. Just want to show you some of the way my mind works and some of the little projects going on. Leave me a comment. You got any concerns? You got any questions? You got any other ideas of something I could try that you might want to find out? I love this community. I think that if we help one each other, we can really make it work here. The gardening scene here sucks. Let's change that. One of these mornings, though, I'm gonna get you. Anyway, let's grow.